Hi everyone, Eric and I will be sharing some tips on how you can powerfully start your first day of school with a lasting impact. So we have 6 tips for you. Number 1 is create a welcoming environment.
Very important. I think it's the students' first day at school. They are nervous, and I think as teachers we're also very anxious. And it's our responsibility to make it easy for the students to come into class and feel accepted, and really start a relationship with our students by making it easy for them and making it fun and inviting in class.
Yeah, we can also make sure that the classroom setup was nicely prepared, like you can have positive quotes, or you can arrange the classroom in a manner where people can feel that they are accepted, that they are safe, right?
Yeah, it's very important as teachers that that we prepare for our classes. Now, you can prepare your curriculum, you can prepare for your lessons, but you should also set up your classroom in a way that's easy for the students to get into class, know where they have to sit. They, if it's possible, have some pretty things around, some colorful pictures, to make it inviting and vibrant.
Yes, and you can also add in some icebreakers, right? You can use icebreakers to make sure that everyone would feel welcome, and it would be easy for everyone to just feel comfortable inside the class.
Yeah, icebreakers, I think that's something that a lot of teachers look at, is that, I need some activities to use, and that's very important. But I think the mentality of teaching is that first class is even more important. So there are so many icebreakers that you can use. What are some of your favorite icebreakers before I share mine?
Icebreakers, probably 2 truths and a lie.
Good.
How about you? What's your favorite?
Okay, so for me, I think your first day of class is a great opportunity for you to do a few things. Number 1, it's a good time for the students to get to know you, and it's also an opportunity for your students to engage with each other. And you're also going to set up the type of classes you're going to have for the year. You're also supposed to teach the students what they're supposed to do in class, what is expected of them. So you're going to teach them the rules. So many things that go into the first class. Now, when it comes to icebreakers, I like to do things that show my students who I am, and also allow them to talk with each other and have some games, because they are also new to each other. So some things I like to do is I ask the students to interview a partner. They have to interview their partner, but they have to be a hype man. They have to find out interesting things about their partner and say, my partner is teacher K. She's very smart, she's pretty, she works very hard, she's got 7 brothers and sisters. You don't have 7 brothers?
I don't.
Okay, she doesn't. But yeah, so interview each other, and then they're supposed to talk about their partner. Now, why that's easy is because, number 1, so many times if we say, please introduce yourself, it puts a lot of pressure on us. But if I ask you, can you introduce your friend? Quickly take 5 minutes, find out some interesting information, and you will talk about your friend. It takes the pressure off of you, and you're just introducing your friend with a smile. And then afterwards, you can also ask the friend some questions. So what I do is, let's say I've got 10 students. I say, okay, everyone, partners, interview your partner, you will introduce your partner. And then once they're done, it depends how much time you have. You're going to give them, if you don't have a lot of time, tell them rock, paper, scissors, and the loser has to introduce to class. And usually they don't mind it. They introduce their partner, and then I would ask that partner some questions. So you talk with all the students. So you can do something like that. Or one of my favorite activities is a mingle. Write down a bunch of questions on the board, personal questions. The students write down 5 or 6 questions, like hobby, movie, sports, what did you do last vacation? Then they are supposed to interview 6 different partners and ask them 1 question each, and then also ask a follow-up question. So I would ask one partner, what's your hobby? Well, what's your name? my name is John. John, what's your hobby? Playing video games. Then I'm supposed to ask one more follow-up question. What's your favorite video game? It's Call of Duty.
That's nice.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So tell me about your first day of class. How did it go? What did you do? Where were you?
Usually my first day of class is less serious. Of course, I give the rules and the expectations. However, I want it to be very welcoming at first. So I prepare a lot of activities or games. And then I also make sure that I introduce myself in a fun manner. Like maybe in a quiz type like Kahoot. Are you familiar with Kahoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can use that. I would use that to introduce myself.
But what was your, because I think a lot of viewers right now are maybe new teachers and they're looking for information on how they're supposed to teach their first class. Do you remember that feeling of and that expectation of what you had to do your first class?
Yeah, the feeling, very nervous at first. And then there's this tug of war if you want to be a fun teacher or you want to be a strict teacher. But over time, I was able to reconcile both, wherein you can be fun but respectable at the same time. Because I'd rather be known that way, because that's me. I'd rather be known that way than someone who is a teacher who is called stiff or boring.
I think that's a perfect answer. Everybody goes through it. So you go into class and you've got some expectations. You don't want to be a serious teacher, and you want the students to like you and that they're going to have fun. So a lot of teachers either go one way or the other. They are too nice and then later on get taken advantage of, or they're too serious and the students, you know, they don't really want to talk with you or they're shy to walk in class. So what's important, I think, is that there are a few things to remember in class. Number one, you want to be in control. You're going to be nervous, but the students are also nervous. It's your responsibility as teacher to take the lead and to be responsible for controlling the class. So you introduce yourself, you have to introduce the rules, and you can also, and your expectations of the class too, how they're supposed to behave. You're supposed to go over these points, and once you've done that, then maybe show your personality by playing some games and involve the students.
Yes, and most importantly, you have to be consistent with what you are saying. Yes, because or else you will suffer later on.
Yeah. I think a lot of teachers say don't smile before Christmas, so rather be strict than be too friendly, which I understand. But I think if you are well prepared, you know exactly what's going on in the class, and you explain that to your students too, you'll be safe.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be super strict. The rules do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So and also procedures. Have some procedures in class. How do you expect the students to come into class? How do you expect to be greeted? What do you expect when you do the activities, when they work with a partner? How do you get them to be quiet? Practice these procedures, because it takes the workload off of you, because the students are semi-trained to do that. So write down what do you expect the students to do in class, and practice those procedures with them so that they know, and that will make them more comfortable, and it will also take the pressure off you.
Yeah, from what you said, I think there are 3 C's that are very important for that: communication, clarity, and consistency.
I like that, the 3 C's.
Yes, 3 C's. Go ahead.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be different from these 2 very great teachers here, because I am teaching college, and in college it's a lot different. It's a lot different because your students have their own motivations already. You don't have to do like, you have to motivate them. You just have to say, these are the things that you will learn. These are the things that I will do for you to learn, and these are the things for you to do. And then, well, like them, of course, you have to create a very nice environment for your students, especially when your subjects are the core subjects. These subjects are really, really hard for them, so don't make it harder. You just have to be nice, but then still respectable with your students, so that the learning process will be in tandem. So we use the tandem term. You have to tandem with your students, because as long as they are learning, you too, as a teacher, is learning, in every semester that you're going to having your students. I think that would be all that I could share.
You only have one chance for a first impression. So a lot of teachers get stressed because they feel like, oh, I have to make the best impression possible. And that is true. But you should also remember that don't put that much pressure on yourself. If you make a list of what you want to do in that first class, you write down, oh, I want to introduce myself like this. I want to teach them the rules, the procedures. I will go through the curriculum, what they're going to learn. And then we're going to do this activity. We're going to review and practice the procedures one more time. It makes it a lot easier. So this is your first chance to create a good impression and to also lead the students. If you are too soft, later on they will take advantage.
Yes.
If you are too hard, you know, they're not going to enjoy class. So yes, it's important, but yeah, help yourself by making a list. Yeah.
Anyway, you'll get better as years go by. So don't be too hard on yourself. All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for the wonderful tips, and thank you for being in my channel, in my video. And thank you also, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Kay, for having me.
Thank you guys, and have a wonderful first day of class.
Relax your